After the breakup, after a promotion that felt more like punishment than reward. Sinner. After sitting through a dinner with friends who only wanted photos of my sadness for their feeds, I grabbed a duffel bag, shoved in whatever clothes were closest, cone, and drove until the city disappeared behind heat and dust. I didn't choose the valley, it chose me. The place didn't even have a name on the map. Just a blank patch of earth the GPS gave up on halfway through. Thought. I wasn't scared. I was too numb for fear. The desert stretched out endlessly, sun-shattered skies, rugged cliffs, and silence so thick it felt like cotton stuffed in my ears. I should have turned back when the trail vanished under brush and sun-baked dirt. But I kept walking until the heat turned mean and my lips cracked. Then my ankle twisted on a loose rock. I dropped to one knee, hissing through clenched teeth. My ankle swelled fast. The water in my bottle was barely half a bottle, And suddenly, the desert silence didn't feel peaceful. It felt like a warning. That's when I heard the sound. Soft, steady, HOOFBEATS. At first, I thought Heatstroke was making up noises, but then he appeared. A cowboy, a real one, not Halloween costume type. A chestnut horse beneath him. Faded denim, dust on his boots, hat tilted just low enough to shade his eyes. And those eyes, pale, steady, watching me like he knew exactly what kind of trouble I'd stumbled into. You all right there, stranger? Tess' voice was low, warm, and somehow instantly grounding. Twisted my ankle. Got lost, I muttered. He raised one eyebrow. Ain't a trail within 5 miles of here. Well, I sighed. Then, I'm more lost than I thought. A small smile flickered across his lips, tiny, quick, but real. He swung off the horse in one smooth motion and crouched next to me. You don't look built for rattlesnakes or desert thirst, he said, gently pressing round the swelling. I didn't think I needed to be. You'll be fine, he said, standing. But you need shade, pit, and water, canned. Maybe someone who knows where the hell he's going. He offered me his hand. For a second, I hesitated. Not because I didn't trust him, but because I wasn't used to kindness without strings. Come on, he said softly. Can't limp your way out alone. So I took his hand. He pulled me up with careful strength, the kind that's steady, quiet, lived in. Not showy, just safe. What's your name? He asked. Evan. Jace, he replied. Well, Evan, looks like you've been rescued by a cowboy today. And somehow, despite the pain, I laughed. A real laugh. Something I hadn't felt in weeks. Only if we make it out alive, I said. We will, he answered, with a certainty I hadn't felt in myself for a long time. Long as you don't pass out on me. Jace didn't hop back onto the horse and leave me behind him, like some silent hero from an old movie. He walked beside me, boots crunching over gravel, reins loose in his hand, staying close enough that I never felt alone, even though I'd never felt more alone before meeting him. The valley dipped into shadows as the sun slid down the cliffs. The air softened. Heat broke. Tut. And then I saw it, a small ranch house tucked behind a weathered fence, a porch swing leaning tiredly to one side. A windmill, spinning lazily above a barn. It didn't look perfect, It looked lived in, real safe. He helped me down gently. When I stumbled, he caught me around the waist. His arm was warm, steady, and I leaned into him instinctively, inside. The house smelled like cedar and dust and something warm I couldn't place. P brought water, an ice pack wrapped in a towel, and knelt beside me. "Why are you helping me?" I asked. He didn't look up right away. "Because you look like someone who forgot what it feels like to be helped." My throat tightened. He stood. "I've got one bed." Pent. "You take it." I'll sleep on the floor." "You're not sleeping on the floor in your own house," I protested. He paused. "So you're saying we share a bed?" I swallowed, cheeks warm. "It's a bed, Jace. I don't bite." A slow, warm chuckle escaped him. The bedroom was small, shadows softening the edges. Heat took the far side of the bed, careful, respectful, giving me space. But in the quiet, something settled between us, not touching, not speaking, just ease, quiet comfort. Sometime after midnight, a storm rolled in. I shivered in my sleep. The blanket pulled over my shoulders. Jace's fingers brushed my arm, gentle, hesitant. I didn't pull away. Neither did he. Minutes later, hand slipped down, found mine under the blanket. This time, intentionally, my heart thud dead. Not with fear, with something much more dangerous. Lightning flashed, illuminating his face beside mine. Key was awake, watching me carefully, like he was afraid of crossing some invisible line. "It's been a while for me," he whispered. My fingers curled around his. "It's never been like this for me," I murmured. He leaned forward slowly, coaching, giving me every chance to pull away. He kissed my shoulder first, soft, barely there. I turned toward him. Our lips met, steady, warm, honest, no rush, no fear, just truth. When we pulled apart, we didn't talk, we didn't need to. The storm softened outside, inside. His arm wrapped around me. For the first time in months, I felt something I thought I'd lost completely. Safe. The morning light turned everything gold, the curtains, dead. Jace's face beside mine. He didn't pull his arm back. I didn't move away. "You still here?" he murmured, half asleep. "Yeah," I whispered. He smiled, the kind that reached his eyes. We made breakfast together. Or he did most of the cooking while I pretended to help. Flipped bacon one-handed, poured coffee without spilling a drop. Every movement slow, intentional. "You always bring strangers home and cook for them." "Cute. Only the cute ones," he said casually. I nearly choked on my coffee. He laughed. A real, deep laugh. God. It was a good sound. We spent the day walking the property, fixing fences, mostly Jace fixing, while I handed him nails and tried not to stare at the way the sun lit up his shoulders. When we sat on the porch that night, stars, he told me about Liam, the boy he loved once, too, who left because hiding became too heavy. He showed me a photograph, 2 boys with hope written in their smiles. "He left?" I asked gently. "He left," Jace said. "Each state." I told him about the man who kept me hidden too, how I was always convenient but never chosen. Jace didn't say anything. He just placed his hand on mine, and somehow, that was enough. The next morning, over bread and coffee, I finally said it. I'm supposed to leave tomorrow. He paused with the knife in his hand, set it down, nodded once. All right, that was it. No begging, no guilt, just acceptance. And weirdly, that hurt more. We spent the day together silently, not awkward, just full. That night, on the porch under a clear sky full of stars, he finally spoke. You could stay, he said quietly. I don't have much. Not a big place, not a big life, tut. But there's room here. My breath caught. I don't know what I'm doing, I admitted. Maybe that's reason enough to stay, he replied. Are you scared? Kai whispered. A little. Me too. He looked at me, then really looked, and for the first time, I didn't feel lost. I leaned into him. He wrapped his arm around me. My heart answered the question neither of us asked. Aloud. Yes. One more day became a week. A week became 2. Life settled into something simple, quiet, and honest. We didn't label anything. We didn't rush. We just existed together. He rebuilt fences. I tended the garden badly. He sang when he thought I wasn't listening. I burned toast. And he scraped off the char, pretending it tasted fine. One morning, he found me staring at the ridge where we first met. I'm not lost, I said quietly. I just hadn't arrived yet. He didn't speak. He just handed me a saddle rope. Behind him were 2 horses, his K, and a new one, smaller, chestnut, with white markings. For you, he said, almost shy. Can't keep stealing mine forever. My heart stuttered. This means I'm staying, I breathed. He shrugged softly. Doesn't it? I didn't answer. I didn't have to. The way he looked at me. The way the valley breathed around us. The way everything felt right-eyed, already answered. Epilogue. A place to be loved. We sat on the porch that evening. Legs tangled, his arm warm around my shoulders. I thought about the first day, the storm, the fear, the loneliness, and how a cowboy on a chestnut horse changed everything with one offer. You need a lift out of here. He offered me more than a ride, more than shelter, more than a bed. He offered me a home, a place to breathe, a place to be seen, a place to be loved, and I chose him every day. I chose him again. Tell me, Boot, if you were in Evan's boots, would you stay for love in a forgotten valley, or walk back to the life that left you empty? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one.